Hello, I have a wet hopped can conditioned Saison from Oxbow, which is called Harvest. I think they do this just about every year. It was canned a little bit over a month ago, and it says 100% Maine grown grains and freshly harvested local nugget hops. Oh, all New England stuff. I guess they don't say if the nugget is from Maine, but local implies that it's at least close. 6.5%, it's strong. I had one of these right after I bought it, and it was pretty good. What's weird is that it seems like in New England it's hard to get wet hop IPAs for some reason, especially since I guess Founders and Lagunitas have basically discontinued making wet hop beers. That they, for years and years and years, just widely distributed these good wet hop beers. And maybe they just weren't making money off them. Maybe it's also because they are not independent anymore. But at least I got some wet hops in some form here. Very clear. There's probably some sediment in the bottom, but it's definitely stuck in the ridges of the bottom of the can. That's what's nice about cans, is that these little ridges in the bottom kind of hold yeast better than bottles. Bottles can get more chunky and stuff. There's a very, very light haze, but you can see my face through there pretty easily. And carbonation is not crazy. Usually, you don't want to can condition things like you would bottle condition. That just means naturally carbonating them in the can. So there's live yeast in here. But cans can't stand as much carbonation as bottles. Though I've seen some cans where they were like, something went wrong in the canning process and they got way over carb and the little bottom part went from concave to convex. But obviously something went wrong with those ones. And thankfully those didn't explode. But I have seen some exploding cans. I mean, it's a pretty good carb. Very pale. I don't really know what the grain bill is, but it looks like there's not much specialty darker grains. Yep. Just kind of a classic Saison smell. Maybe just a little extra hop forward, a little extra fresh hop sort of kick to it. And nugget hops are kind of really old-fashioned American hop. That's definitely quite English-y, but not as mossy as Fuggles and Goldings. I guess the hops are kind of slightly covering up more of the esters in this beer. It's not quite reaching bubblegum levels. It's a little bit of that pear thing that I always get from Saison yeast that I like. But there's definitely some grassy, citrusy notes that aren't coming from the yeast. And the phenols are pretty subtle. No, not really clove. Maybe a hint of fresh black pepper. Ooh, yeah. I like that flavor a lot. It's 6.5, so it's got some body. It's a little bit. It seems like I'm getting a little bit of sweetness. There's more sweetness than I was expecting. And the body's pretty full. Though when you swallow it, it gets spicy and a little bit prickly and dries out pretty well. And it continues with pear, apricot, mild stone fruit sort of flavors, maybe a little bit. And then nice grassy, sort of resinous bite, more just like kind of orange peel a bit. Not super fresh, juicy orange zest, not pithy and all bitter, white part of it, just kind of the whole peel or something. There you go, Harvest. That's a really good, clean Saison. Yeah, this one's, there's no funk or sour, anything like that happening with this one. I don't think Oxbow cans any of their like funky beers. They do have some sort of sour ones. slightly sour ones because they add like lime to them. But all their mixed ferm beers are in bottles, I believe. It's almost like somewhere between juicy pear and grapefruit. And there's a light, nice, toasty malt character to it. It's not caramel, it's not sort of a sweet, caramely sort of malt, but just a little bit of a toasty, slight thing. I mean, it is kind of sweet, but it's not distracting from the yeast and hops. It's just, yeah, baguette, crusty. Really nice. I'd give it a 4.25. I'm glad that I was able to get these cans. At the brewery, they're like $12 a 4-pack. I think they actually distroed some of this, but not many places got it. Yeah, Oxbow is always up in the top tier of best Saison makers. There aren't many other brewers out there that focus so much on Saisons. And making all different kinds of them, too. They do clean, they do dark, they do barrel aged, they do hoppy, they do Brett hoppy, they do sour hoppy, they do it, and they're all pretty good. Bye.